Can you make a game in 48 hours? Maybe. Can you make a game in 24 hours? Possibly. Can you make one in 6 hours, cramming frantically before the deadline? Spoiler alert, things didn't go to plan. Another year, another game competition. This weekend is Ludum Dare number 52. Prior to the event kicking off, there will be 4 rounds of voting for themes. And then on the Friday, the theme is announced and you have 48 hours to build a game. So here the graph shows how much time I spent procrastinating versus the amount of time I actually used for the final game. So this is the final game. I didn't have time to explain because I ran out of time. But essentially you're playing this little rat that's hiding stealthily inside of a bread roll. And what you have to do is push the cakes around and off the edge of the table to your friend who will be in the rat hole in the wall. So the last part of the concept is the cat. So if you stray too close to the edge of the table, it will splat you like that. And that's game over. So that was the final game, but that wasn't the first concept. With extreme hubris, I thought I could make a project in Unity in 3D, specifically not knowing how to do things like GUIs, quaternions, just interactions, all the stuff I kind of take for granted with constructs. I don't really know how to do in Unity, so this abomination is what I ended up building. And you can see the seeds of the sort of final game in this, in that the concept is the rat drags food items with the plates to a score line, effectively. And as you can see here, I gave up on animating the rat legs. I had very lofty ambitions of making the rat legs procedurally animated, and I spent about an hour looking into how to procedurally animate the rat legs, and eventually gave up. Which leads on to game number 2, which is a platform game with a cat. So this guy might be familiar because he's the cat that splats the rat in the final game. After the failure of the first day creating the rat game in Unity, I thought I'd keep it simple by making an extremely complicated physics-based, procedurally animated cat stamping rats in a kind of castle environment. I pretty much wasted most of the second day building this. I think that's ADHD for you. If I remember correctly, I spent about 2 hours trying to figure out how to procedurally animate the tail to then make it follow nicely along with the body, and doing stuff like applying sine functions to it and stuff. It is a challenge not to go down those rabbit holes because you get caught up on a detail and then you forget to actually add any of the actual gameplay. That was most of day 2, and then the final few hours were working on game number 3. With only a few hours remaining in the competition until the submission deadline, the most obvious choice to build something quickly is pixel art's Isometric 3D. I don't know why I chose to do this. I think I just like the challenge and hate myself. If you haven't played with isometric coordinate systems before, then, well, they're not easy. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not that clever, but it was more challenging than I thought it would be to put this together. So a lot of constant conversions from one coordinate system to another to make sense of things. Annoyingly, I don't have the one with the pathfinding. I did make a version where you controlled it with a mouse instead of the keyboard, so you would click where you wanted the rat to go, and then it would follow a path. Another thing that's probably not something you should be building if you're pressed for time, because debugging and trying to work out a pathfinding system is not something you can do quickly. The other thing with isometric systems is actually depth sorting the things like the cakes and stuff. So see here where the rat in the bread roll is behind the cake. You can see the cake's in front of him, and now he's in front of the cake. But it seems obvious, but this is quite a difficult thing to calculate when they're not of a uniform size. So you're constantly trying to sort of figure out how best to sort things in 3D space or pseudo 3D space. If I turn on debug mode, you can see now how everything works. Whenever you press the coordinate, it creates a waypoint and then the rat moves towards the waypoint. So yeah, you can make trains of cakes if you so desire and push them all off the edge like that. So yeah, that's So that's how you make 3 half-assed games in 2 days. Like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notifications if you find this particularly interesting. And at some point I'll upload another video. So see you next time.